In a dramatic showdown, Trump has now accused Judge James Boasberg of overstepping his bounds, claiming the judge is trying to seize presidential power, and he's calling on the highest court to step in. The air was thick with tension as Trump slammed Boasberg as a publicity hound, especially after the judge put a hold on a massive deportation plan with a temporary restraining order. Judge James Boasberg is pulling every trick to grab control from the presidency, Trump declared, his words echoing like a warning bell in a storm. He warned that the risk posed by such actions is unlike anything we've ever seen, an unprecedented threat looming on the horizon. The roots of the dispute trace back to a moment when Boasberg issued his temporary order right after more than 200 alleged gang members were sent off to El Salvador. Trump ridiculed him as just a local, unknown judge, painting him as nothing more than a show-off chasing attention. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Boasberg criticized a court filing from the administration as woefully insufficient because it was put together by a junior staff member. Just the day before, he had led a heated hearing with Department of Justice lawyers, determined to uncover whether the government had willfully ignored his order. That evening on his social media platform, Trump fired back fiercely. He dismissed the judge's rulings as absurd, nothing but a bid for the spotlight, and labeled Boasberg as both ridiculous and inept, finishing with an impassioned cry, "Save America!" His online post didn't stop there. He also demanded an end to nationwide injunctions and pleaded for the Supreme Court's intervention. With urgency, he warned, unlawful nationwide injunctions by radical left judges could very well lead to the destruction of our country. If Justice Roberts and the Supreme Court don't set things right immediately, we're in serious trouble. Even as Roberts delivered a sharp rebuke on Tuesday, following Trump's call for Boasberg's impeachment, Trump remained undeterred. He insisted that liberal judges are trying to claim presidential powers without earning the nation's trust through votes, and that their dangerous overreach is something no country should risk. A president must be free to act fast, whether it's sending back murderers, drug lords, or rapists to where they belong, so that our nation can be safe, he added, his voice a blend of defiance and urgency. On Thursday, Boasberg himself lashed out, accusing the Trump administration of missing a critical court deadline to provide details on those deportation flights. The judge noted that the paperwork arrived hours too late, accusing the administration of dodging its responsibilities once again. His anger was palpable, especially when he pointed a finger at Robert L. Cerna, a regional ICE office director, who had submitted a brief 6-paragraph declaration on behalf of the White House. "This is woefully insufficient," Boasberg wrote, his frustration clear in every word. Cerna's response had mentioned that cabinet secretaries were actively considering whether to invoke the State Secrets Act privileges over additional facts requested by the court. In response, Boasberg demanded that the White House deliver a sworn declaration by 10 a.m. Friday, along with 2 separate filings by next Tuesday. The chain reaction began when Boasberg blocked the deportations of more than 200 people after the administration invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a move that sparked a storm of controversy. During a fiery hearing, he even pressed the government to specify when it believed his deportation orders had taken effect, pointing out that the administration claimed the flights were already in progress and over international waters when they became aware of the order. The White House, on Monday, stated that the deportees sent to El Salvador were members of a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua, but it has kept the identities of those now in custody under wraps. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt noted that the U.S. paid $6 million to secure their transfer, a figure that added fuel to the heated debate. On the same day, Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller launched into a scathing attack on the judge, dismissing his claim that the order was illegal. Miller argued that it is simply outrageous for a district court judge to act as if he were the commander-in-chief, calling it the most extreme abuse he'd witnessed, even comparing it to moments from many lifetimes ago. Earlier this month, the American Bar Association warned against any attempts to bully or silence our nation's judges and legal experts. They stressed that intimidation must never be allowed, cautioning that the legal field should not morph into a tool that rewards government supporters while punishing dissenters. Trump, meanwhile, continued to rail against the judges who ruled against him during his 4 criminal trials over the campaign. Adding to the fire, in February and March, Musk took to his influential online space to criticize judges with similar vigor. Musk's tweets painted a dire picture. We are witnessing an attempted coup of American democracy by radical left activists posing as judges, he exclaimed on February 11th. He went on to warn that judges who make terrible decisions must face consequences, or else democracy itself will perish. On February 25th, his post was even more blunt. When judges egregiously undermine the democratic will of the people, they must be fired or democracy dies. The rules for impeaching a federal judge under Article 3 are steep indeed, requiring both a House vote and a two-thirds Senate approval. Still, a Republican lawmaker, Representative Andy Ogles, pushed forward a resolution in February to impeach Judge John Bates after his directive to federal health agencies to restore online data amid a crackdown on gender ideology. Ogles, who lashed out against what he called predators like the judge, a Bush appointee, was undeterred by Roberts' earlier warning. Respectfully, Mr. Chief Justice, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson would disagree, and so would the Constitution. We're going to keep the impeachments coming, he boldly stated. Judge Boasberg, who hails from Washington, studied at Yale Law before earning an advanced degree at Oxford, was appointed by Roberts to oversee the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, a body handling complex, technical cases. The White House's own Caroline Leavitt has not minced words, branding him an activist and even attacking his wife over her political donations. Leavitt's fierce criticism came on the heels of Trump's own harsh words, in which he labeled Boasberg a radical left lunatic and floated the idea of impeaching him after a temporary order blocked deportation flights. At its core, this clash is about who holds the power to decide if the president can deport foreign terrorists from American soil, a battle that Leavitt claims is a blatant misuse of judicial power. This judge does not have the authority to override the president. It's clear to us at the White House that he is an activist trying to seize power, she insisted, leaving no room for doubt. She added that under the Alien Enemies Act, the president is empowered to continue the deportation campaign, and that Boasberg, whom she labeled a Democrat activist appointed by Obama, must step aside. Leavitt then reminded everyone of his wife Elizabeth Manson's contributions of over $10,000 to Democrats, arguing that the judge's consistent disdain for this president's policies is simply unacceptable. What will be the next move in this high-stakes legal drama? Stay tuned as every twist and turn promises to reshape the balance of power in a way that could change everything.